Hello there and welcome back to the channel and also to the sculpture garden here at Granite Paradise. Today we will be enjoying a nice assortment of Oregon and California goodies sent to me by my friend Adam, who does extensive collecting in the rivers and on the beaches of Oregon and California, supplying his eBay store, West Coast Rocks, from which I purchase occasionally and have gradually built, mostly from Adam, a really nice West Coast Rocks display on one of the larger sculptures. This is always so much fun. Rocks in the mail. There's no better way to go. I really can't think of anything I would rather get in the mail more than a 30-pound box of rocks. That's the 15-pounder right there. Very nice. As you may know, I am legally blind and unable to drive a car, and so my opportunities to get out are somewhat limited. And so Adam's very reasonable prices have given me a great alternative in terms of having a nice collection from that part of the country. Of course, I will attach a direct link to Adam's store here at the end of the video for you. Well, this is a beautiful collection, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Let's check these out. Well, as usual, Adam has spoiled me with, again, more surprise freebies, the ones with the labels, than the 3 larger rocks that I actually purchased from him. I love you, Adam. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And let's start. Just like last time, we'll start with these, and then we'll move on to the larger rocks. This first one here is an agate from Jalama Beach in California. You guys might remember my beautiful Jalama travertines that I've shown in past videos. He says this agate is reactive to UV. I'll get the UV out here in a minute and insert a clip here to show what it looks like in UV. Here are a couple of views of this agate in normal and UV light respectively. So this agate has some really unique structure upon close inspection. To me, it appears that the host rock is a basalt. I'm not sure what else it could be. It's black and it looks volcanic, and the orange colored agate, the light goes through quite well. I hope that's showing on the video for you. But then the white, the original lining of the cavity, appears to be quartz crystals. Can you see all the little points? And yet the rock to the touch is completely smooth. So here we have encapsulated in this small specimen a cavity that was filled with quartz crystals and then later filled with agate. And I did the UV test, which I just inserted the photos for you. I don't think it's uranium, Adam, because to my knowledge, uranium fluoresces very green. At least that's what I've always heard. And this is definitely fluorescent, but it does not fluoresce very green, or green at all, really. At least not under my UV light. I'm not sure if mine is short wave or long wave. I'm not that into that, so I really don't know. Any of you who do know, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you, Adam. This is an awesome surprise freebie specimen. Here we have a beautiful agate nursery from Rock Creek Beach. I'm starting to have a nice collection of these agate nursery rocks. Very nice piece. I love the large vesicle there. That really gives it character. We've spoken about these rocks before where it's a basalt with vesicles. Very interesting that this large vesicle either didn't get filled with agate or the agate popped out. You know, those of you who go agate hunting in Oregon, you find a lot of agates about that size on the beach. Interesting. That's probably where they're popping out of these vesicles. He's calling this banana rhyolite. Rhyolites have, I think I've said this before, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but rhyolites are fast becoming one of my favorite rocks because there's so much variety in them. Those of you who are up on geology, especially if you know about rhyolites, I'd love an explanation of this. It almost looks like chunks of quartz floating in there. They don't look like they were vesicles that got filled. They look like pieces that are floating in it, but I could be wrong. I'd love to hear your comments. This is again from the Rogue River. Here's another rhyolite from the Rogue River. Yeah, very cool rhyolite. I've got another one similar to this that I got from Adam probably a couple years ago. Much more orange in color, that one is. Nice. See, this is another similar rhyolite. So I imagine, Adam, as you're looking around, if you've sent me 2 of these, there are probably more. I remember saying to you guys, in the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, let everything be established. Once you find 2 of a rock, you know that somewhere upstream there's a significant source of it. I like this stuff. Find me its 20-pound big brother, please. Beautifully striped. We'll look at these wet here in a minute. This one he's calling Fission Worm Rock. From Bob Creek Beach. I'm going to show you guys here, I'll insert a short clip of some rocks similar to this that I got. You may remember me telling this story before. When I was living in Lavina, Montana, a lady moved to town from Oregon, and she had a U-Haul truck just full of buckets of rocks from Oregon. And she paid me in rocks to help her unload this truck. And she gave me a bunch of these. So I'm going to look at them and see if they're the same. They're over on one of the sculptures. As you can see around here, the sunflowers are about at their peak. And it's hard to get into the cracks and crevices of Chris's granite paradise. But we're going to try to get in here. There we go. Kind of dark, but I hope they show in the video. These are those, what did he call them? Fission worm rocks. I'm not sure if these are the same thing, but these are part of what the very kind soul in Lavina paid me with, a bucket of rocks. And I like these, so I took quite a few of them. She had a lot. They're nice material. They seem to be some kind of coral. I think these are different than what Adam sent. I'll have to compare them. I'll just take this one over there right now and let's do that. So at first glance, they seem to be the same. The one that I just received from Adam is a little heavier. Maybe. This one feels lighter, but it's also completely dry, and I just wet the one from Adam. So to me, they appear the same. And I don't know what beach she got them from. She probably told me, but we're talking like 5 years ago, and it was a snowy day and we were in a hurry and I didn't write anything down. I was just carrying buckets and boxes of rocks through the snow. Very nice. So I'll probably add this to the collection over there, or maybe I should keep it separate. I'll figure that out. Awesome stuff. Now we're going to move on to the rocks that I actually purchased, which are, I think this is like an 8.5 pound Bullseye Agate. This is a 15-pound Rhyolite. Both of these from the Rogue River in Oregon. And then this is a Jasper. I think it's also about 8 pounds, if I remember right. That's from California. Not sure where in California. Let's look at these wet. Oh, these are beautiful rocks, Adam. They really shine when wet. Awesome finds. Very nice. Let me turn this one over and wet the other side. Yeah, you know, if you guys can't go places very easily for whatever reason, rock hunting on eBay. Of course, it depends on the store. A lot of people, they seem to think they're selling you gold nuggets, and they're extremely overpriced. Adam's prices have always been very fair. That's why I keep coming back to Adam. I have a very nice Oregon collection as a result. Yeah, this Bullseye Agate is so cool. I love this stuff. Here we are seeing what at one time must have been more cavity than rock, as most of this rock is composed of the radiating growths of the quartz crystals. This speaks to me of some significant hydrothermal activity somewhere. I think I have 5 of these now. Yeah, what the origin of this rock is, I would love to know. It's full of holes that mostly or completely filled in with crystalline quartz. Got some iron oxide going on. Very little host rock. So I'm wondering what this was originally. It must have just been a very extremely porous material before all this quartz came in. The reason I say crystalline quartz is you can see, if you look closely, you can see crystal structure, I guess is what I'm saying. You can never look at these for too long. It's quite therapeutic in my opinion. Just amazing geologic structure captured in a snapshot that we call a rock. I don't want to drop this on my table though. All right, let's look at this baby. Ooh, that's a nice rhyolite. I don't think I can pick it up with one hand though. Again, it has several of these vesicles, and you can see how the banding moves around the vesicle. And there's agate in there too, not in the big vesicle, but you can see some smaller vesicles with agate. Let's see if I can carefully turn this over. There we go. See, here's another of those large vesicles that the banding seems to move around. And there's another one. So this rock has several of these vesicles, which make it very interesting. Not to mention the fact that it has no cracks and it's just big. Adam's camera takes much higher resolution photos than mine, and he has been kind enough to send me the full-size images from the listings that I purchased, and they really show nicely the flow patterns and other details in this incredible rhyolite specimen. Awesome, that's my size of rock. What I'm noticing about Adam's Jaspers from California is the banding, or not the banding, I'm sorry, the quartz is more iron stained. It tends to be more orange. If you look on his store right now, he's got a few California Jaspers, and some of them are very orange, very gold. Beautiful pattern in this one. Again, I'm pretty picky. I don't like them if they have a lot of cracks, and this is a nice solid piece. One thing I always keep an eye out for in Adam's Jaspers are the veining patterns. Because of the high contrast between the whitish veins and the darkness of the host Jasper, it is an excellent rock for studying different vein patterns as we come across them. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have, and that you will leave comments, like and share the video, and if you have not yet done so, please subscribe to not miss other exciting rock-related content. Thank you so much for coming along today. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.